things. TCU, man, they're living right. The national championship game is set, and we've got Georgia versus TCU. And so going into the season, I think nobody would have been surprised to see the Bulldogs there, defending national champions. They've got blue chip after blue chip. But obviously it's a different story for TCU, and we've discussed the Frog season before, but now it has reached the pinnacle. TCU was picked 7th in the Big 12 preseason poll, did not receive a vote in the AP preseason top 25, but here they are. They are the first Big 12 team to play for a national championship since 2009. That was the Colt McCoy Texas Longhorns. And TCU had to fight just to get in the Big 12. So where do you guys feel like these Frogs rank among all-time surprises in college football? Steven, start with you.
I mean, they might be the biggest, honestly. Like, I know maybe I'm missing some historical ones, but the one that came to mind for me was, I know Auburn, I think it was in 2011. They made the title game. They played Florida State. They ended up losing that game, but the year before they were 4-8.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a huge turnaround. And so it's not totally unprecedented, but I just think the combination of them going 5-7 last year, and on top of that, just being one of the teams that doesn't get here. I mean, it's still really surreal that they're going to be playing in this game, because usually college football either doesn't let a team like this in the dance, or if they get there, they generally bow out pretty quickly. So it's incredible. It's also just funny to think, like, and I'm not trying to disparage him, but it'll come off like it comes off, because for years, like Gary Patterson, he was known as the guy that like maximized every ounce of talent out of the TCU program, and that there were so many obstacles in his way. And in year one, Sonny Dykes gets to a place where he never got to. Now, I mean, he had that Rose Bowl team that maybe should have been, there in the BCS era, and a few other groups that got snubbed. But it's just pretty wild to think about how they've reached a point where they didn't, when they just, parted ways with their best coach ever. And so I can't really think of another team that just totally came out of nowhere like this. I don't know if John has one, but I feel like this might be one of the bigger surprises in the history of the sport.
Yeah. That Auburn one is a good example, though.
Yeah, I agree with Stephen. It's hard to come up with an example of a team out of nowhere like this. I was looking back through the BCS championship games. Virginia Tech in '99 made the championship game, against Florida State. They lost 46-29, but that's really about the last maybe non-traditional power that's made a championship game, I think. I mean, Auburn's a good example too. But yeah, this is just crazy. And I just think it's great for college football. And I kind of see it as maybe a gateway into maybe the expanded playoff system coming in 2024, that hopefully you're going to see more teams like this. I think Tulane, if this were 2024, Tulane, right. the win against USC in the Cotton Bowl. I mean, that would have been a great playoff game. So, I'm hoping this is just kind of a harbinger for things to come.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, both of y'all. I mean, those semifinal games set up as some of the most exciting, CFP games we've ever seen. And I mean, how could you not want more of that? I mean, obviously, the magnitude of those games, the fact that they were putting teams into the national championship game probably added even more significance to it. But if it's any type of playoff game, I think that's going to be exciting and good for the sport, certainly, as you mentioned, John. To Stephen's point, yeah, it is super cool to see TCU break through and be, a a non-Oklahoma Big 12 team in the college football playoff, and not only be in it, but win a game. And you know, here they have a chance to win a national championship. Yeah, I mean, the Frogs last won a national championship in what, 38?
39.
39. Yeah. Davey O'Brien. We're talking, you know, ancient history for really anyone that follows the sport. So this is a big time moment for sure.